Um, well, this is what I remember happening at our home, and this was in 1972, and Mom had told, actually, I guess this was Mom's story, partially mine, but one day, this was in El Paso, Texas, where it was always warm, and one day she had looked out the front door, and she saw two young men in suits knocking on somebody's door, and she was pretty excited because she knew they would come to her door, and it was really important, and she was really anxious for them to come. And so
that was just a feeling.
it was just a feeling. It's just the way it was. She didn't even question it. And so she went outside and she swept the porch, which is not something, you do. I hardly ever sweep my porch, but she knew they were coming, and so she swept the porch, she tidied the living room, and she waited, and they didn't come that day. So the next day, she went out and she swept the porch again, and she waited, and they didn't come. And so over the course of the week, she'd sweep the porch every day and wait for them to come, and sometimes she'd go check outside, and every once in a while she might see them at another house, but they didn't come to her house. And she knew they were coming, and she was anxious for them to come, and it was important for them to come, and she didn't know what the holdup was. So anyway, finally, but she didn't give up hope, and every day she was sweeping that porch and waiting, and one day the knock came at her door. And when she opened the door, there were two young men in suits standing on the porch. And she grabbed one of them by the suit and pulled him in and said, "What took you so long?" And they both came in. I never did ask the missionaries, who I grew to know later, "What did you think of this crazy woman that grabbed you by the suit and called you in and said, 'What took you so long?'" But she knew they were coming, and she knew it would be important. Anyway, I was at school this whole time, and all I knew is I would come home from school and walk in the door, and I'd always be tired, and it was always hot, and I had all my books at the end of the day, and I'd walk in the door, and at the other side of the door would be two elders that would pull the door open and smile, and they're all energy and happiness, and pump my hand, and my books and everything, and pump my hand, and call me Sister Barb and leave. And that's all I knew about it. I never knew that they were ambassadors for any church or anything. I didn't know anything about them. They were just two cheerful young men in suits that acted like they knew me and would shake my hand every day when I got home from school with this incurable cheerfulness. So, sweet, can you get the dog to let their bone? Anyway, I think once I saw some film that they showed, and then I knew that they were connected to a church. But I never really learned anything about them until they kind of quit coming. And then one day, Mom got dressed up to go somewhere, and Dad and I were watching TV, and we said, "Well, where are you going?" And she said, "Oh, I'm going to go get baptized. I'll be back probably in an hour." And that was it. She had gotten baptized, and she joined the church. So it wasn't till much later that I got the whole story, got the discussions myself, and I joined the church too.
Neat.
How old were you then?
16.
That's old enough to know better. Hey.